The Yankees have officially gotten out of their slump, a historic slump, by the way, and they have one man to thank for it, and it's not the guy that you would expect. What's going on, guys? King of Honor 61st here. I'm back to the video, and before we get to the good, let's get to a little bit of the bad, because there is still some. Starting off with the captain of the team, and most likely the 2025 AL MVP this year, and that is Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge has been off, and we know that. Everyone knows he's been a shell of himself for the past couple weeks. I'm seeing something out of him that I haven't seen in quite a while. It's looking like he's pressing, looking like he is trying to force results. That is not something that Aaron Judge usually does, and it all came to a head in game 3 of this series. Aaron Judge comes up to the plate against right-hander Sir Anthony Dominguez. First and second, nobody out. Obviously not a position that Sir Anthony Dominguez wanted to put himself in. With a base open, even though it's not first, there's still a base open. He was trying to pitch around Aaron Judge, and you saw it off the first pitch. First pitch was a slider in the lefty batter's box. Judge takes it. Why in the hell are you in swing mode on pitch number 2? And this is another thing that I believe could be a problem if this continues for Aaron Judge, is his pitch recognition has been piss poor lately. Again, in this situation, he has to remember he is Aaron Judge. They do not want to pitch to you. They'll load the bases before they let you get something on the board. On a changeup, he swings over top as it hits the dirt. It was a good pitch. I'm not going to say it was a pitch that was obviously a ball. My problem is that is a pitch, even if it is a fastball, which he most likely thought it was, that's on the outer part of the plate. You take that pitch in this situation. Again, they don't want to pitch to you, so you have to think that there's going to be a lot of spin in this at bat. They're not trying to throw you fastball. But again, 2-0 and 1-1 are very different, and after he gets the 1-1 count and gets you to bite and look foolish, now he has you right where he wants you, and now he's able to mix in that fastball and ends up getting a strikeout out of it. But it all stemmed from that pitch right there. I'm not concerned about Aaron Judge for the rest of the season. I believe he will be fine. I believe he will still be the best hitter in baseball once it's all said and done. But I'd be lying to you if I told you that that wasn't concerning. I haven't seen that out of Aaron Judge, which is why it's concerning. He's not a player that presses for results. He is not a player, when he is struggling, he will be trying to force his way to statistics. That looked like an at-bat where he was forcing his way to produce for this team, and that's not Aaron Judge. So hopefully he can turn things around. It was not a good series for him. It hasn't been a good couple weeks for him. Had a good game 1, but other than that, lackluster. Now let's get to the good, because there were a lot of good things that came from this series. One thing I do want to talk about before we get to the hitter that's leading the charge, the bullpen, and Devin Williams in particular. Devin Williams has looked like his former self for a while now. It has a lot to do with fastball consistency. And what I mean by fastball consistency is his consistency to throw the fastball. He's not throwing changeups alone. He's not just throwing changeups in an at-bat. He is making sure he mixes in that fastball, and sometimes will even go with a fastball in a changeup count to make sure the hitter knows I still got this in my back pocket. That's what he needed to do this entire time. He's finally gotten that in his head, and look at the result. He's had more than 5 straight outings without giving up a run. Over the past couple weeks, I don't think he's even allowed more than a hit. He's had a couple walks here and there, but in a situation where you throw changeups as your predominant pitch, control could go out of whack. So I'm not concerned about the walks as long as they are limited. But he is looking like a different animal right now. He was able to bring his ERA all the way from back when it was 10, 11, possibly even reach 12, and now it's back down to a 5.08. Again, still not looking great. He's not going to have a star-studded ERA and statistic as a whole for the rest of the year because of how he started. There's not enough innings for a closer to get. We have to remember this moment right here, because he is turning into what we traded for, and that is a lockdown closer with one of the nastiest pitches in baseball. And that pitch is now becoming so much more effective now that he is willing to use that fastball. Now let's get to the hitting department. There is one batter on this team that has been holding the weight of an entire offense for the last couple weeks. Even when we were struggling, he was the only one getting on base, getting in scoring position, and they just couldn't drive him in. And his name is Jazz Chisholm Jr. Jazz Chisholm is probably Brian Cashman's best move of the 2020. Outside of re-signing Aaron Judge, which a lot of that had to do with Steinbrenner, this right here was the best move from Brian Cashman of the 2020. Because Jazz Chisholm brought a spark to this team that was desperately needed, and also brought an athleticism, and now is starting to become a complete hitter. For a lot of this year, he was striking out a ton, and a lot of it to me seemed as though it was because he was trying to force the pull. He saw the short porch and said, I can get those stats to look astronomical. What I'm seeing out of Jazz Chisholm right now is a guy who is willing to use off field. He is willing to take his singles. He is willing to go, as he likes to say it, 70% instead of trying to go full throttle 24/7. That's what was needed for Jazz Chisholm, because on his head, he is one of the most talented players. He's got the speed, he's got natural power, and now that he is willing to use all fields and he is becoming a more complete hitter, the results are starting to pile up. Over his last 30 games, he has a close to 300 batting average and an 870 OPS. An 870 OPS is not the 1100 that Aaron Judge had, but it would still be top 20, even top 10 in Major League Baseball. That's the type of hitter Jazz Chisholm could be if he just stays within himself and doesn't force power, because his bat to ball skills are actually really fucking good. And now that the Yankees have gotten that out of him, Jazz is looking like an all-star. Let's be honest. If we look at AL second baseman, Jazz Chisholm is only .3 WAR off of the top leader for second baseman in WAR, which is Gleyber Torres, and Jazz has 70 less plate appearances. Another week or two like this, and Jazz might just sneak his way on the bench of this all-star game. I don't think he'll become a starter because voting's already been going out, and it'd take a lot for him to build the votes necessary. But if he could sneak onto that bench with some of the baseball people who vote for it, I don't see how he doesn't become an all-star. The stats don't lie. He's also not a bad fielder. He's been a pretty good fielder this year, and he'd probably get in as more of a utility guy now that he's played third a bunch. DJ LeMahieu coming back. Jazz has become the player that everyone expected him to be. Now it's all about consistency, keeping this up. Now, I don't expect a 400 batting average over his last 7 games with like a 1,000 OPS to keep up. That's going to regress down to the means. But if he could stay at that 780 to 800 OPS, keep that batting average closer to 280 than it was at 200, that's the type of player that Jazz Chisholm could be, and that is a 5 WAR to 6 WAR player if it's over full 162. That's the type of talent Jazz is, and that's the type of shit he is showing. He has been the only guy in this lineup that has stayed consistent, who has stayed within himself, and has actually put up real results. And he's the real reason we won this series. That game 3 of Jazz Chisholm's won for the record book. Not in reality. He didn't really break a record, but that's one for the ages. He put the team on his back. He's the one who got the double that cut the lead in half within the first couple innings. He's the one who was on second and had to run through a guy. And for anyone saying that that was a dirty hit, you need to go reevaluate the way you watch baseball, because in no way was that dirty. And then late in that game, in a 3-0 count, he stayed within himself. Did not force power. A lot of people do in a 3-0 count, trying to get it over the wall. Stayed towards the middle of the field, hit it right back where it came from, went to right center, bounces off the wall, 2-run score, and that's how we win this fucking game. Jazz has been an X factor. And if he keeps this up, this team is a powerhouse and will be back on track as soon as possible. But anyways, guys, that is it for me. We play Cincinnati. Going to be facing a rookie in his first start of his MLB career. We'll see how that goes. Highly touted prospect. Cincinnati's been okay, not great. So hopefully we can keep this up. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below. If you're new here, hit that sub button. Hopefully next time I see you, I'm talking about a series win. But until then, I'm out of here. Take care and peace.